Hello and welcome to Auspol Explained. I am your curly-haired host with a ginger beard, David, and today I have a special guest with me who will now introduce themselves with a quick physical description for accessibility purposes.
My name is Fatima Payman. I'm the Labor Senator for Western Australia. I am fair-skinned, round face, brown eyes, and I wear a headscarf.
You are the youngest current member of the Australian Parliament. Take that, Senator Jordan Steele-John. You're old now. You're old. I love talking about how to get young people involved in politics. You are a prime example of a young person in politics. So let's talk about that. Why did you get into politics so young in life compared to many other members of Parliament?
For me, joining politics was an integral part of my life because I saw the sacrifices that my parents went through. They had migrated from Afghanistan to Australia, and for us to, make ends meet, to put food on the table, to put a roof over our heads and pay for our education, my parents went through quite a lot of sacrifices and a lot of challenges because English wasn't their first language. And obviously at work, my dad had, faced mistreatment, being abused, overworked. And later on, when I joined United Workers Union as an organiser, that's when I realised that sort of treatment was felt across by many other workers. And so for me, joining politics or joining a party that I felt heard, I felt seen and like I belonged was what drove me to make a difference in people's lives. And when the opportunity came to put my hand up as a Senate candidate, I took it because we need representation in Parliament. Because you can't be what you can't see.
What challenges did you encounter during the campaign? Was being young an issue or a detriment to this campaign, do you think?
I actually experienced an overwhelming level of support, and I think that indicated the appetite Australians had for change, for seeing that representation that we always talk about. We talk about multiculturalism, we talk about how Australia is this incredible melting pot of cultures.
You're talking a lot about, representation in Parliament, and young people's voices are not overly represented in Parliament. What value and strength does sort of a younger person's perspective bring to parliamentary debate?
Well, it's very important to have all voices heard at the table, right? And as a young person myself, I bring a different perspective when we're debating about issues that impact young people's lives. And I think during the campaign, time and time again, I've heard from young people who are saying, who felt like they were underrepresented, who felt like they were completely put off by politics. Having a young person, and I mean, Jordan Steele-John's still considered a young person, so we're in the same camp in terms of being young, but we're advocating for young people, and no matter what settings I find myself, I'll always be an advocate.
What do you think is the greatest barrier for young people to get into politics?
I think one of the greatest barriers, aside from that lack of confidence or not understanding where to begin, there's also that level of not believing in their own abilities. So imposter syndrome, it impacted me. I still have to battle it every single day of my life. But I think for young people, it's important for them to channel that activism and the passion into an avenue and understanding where they can channel that energy basically to impact change.
What advice do you have for young people who want to be more active or interested in politics, but they don't want to be candidates?
Like, becoming a candidate isn't for everyone, but I think there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes that we often don't see when it comes to campaigning or being involved politically. Things like going to meetings and events or getting involved in grassroots level campaigning. Obviously, you'll have to identify and really figure out what your values are and what party aligns with those values. And for me, I found that in the Labor Party, but I'd definitely, advise everyone to go out there, figure out what they want to do, and really pick up those skills of engaging with communities, and engaging in policy-making forums and really have their voices shared out there. So, you can't just sit on the sidelines and expect change to happen. So for me personally, it was about getting involved and engaging with other young people who are like-minded, who share similar values and want to see change happen.
What options are there for young people to get involved outside of say, joining a political party?
I would definitely say, people can go out there and protest, and that's definitely an integral part of our democracy. But for me personally, it was definitely getting involved within the political system, meeting other young people, networking, but also improving my own public engagement skills, talking to other communities, and actually just having that connection to increase the momentum when it comes to changing policies.
For the young people that are actually already really politically active and engaged, there are definitely some people that were even younger than you who ran at the last federal election. What advice do you have for them for when it comes to preparing for a campaign, be that within a party or as an independent?
Perseverance for me was key, not giving up regardless of what sort of road blockages that come your way. Having a good support network is always great, but also it's really important to remember why you're doing what you're doing. What is the purpose you're trying to serve? What are you hoping to achieve? And I think really staying grounded when it comes to running for a political campaign, but also knowing that you can't please everyone. Because on this journey, people that, not everyone's going to agree with you, but it's important to stay true to your values and understand the greater good that, is going to come out of you campaigning. And if not this time around, keep going at it, because no matter, how long this journey may take, the little impact that you are making, you're inspiring someone out there, which is the important part. Because for me, a lot of young girls especially would come up to me and be like, I never thought a young woman could be a politician, and now seeing you, I think I can do it too. And it's go for it, So it's quite fulfilling for me to hear stories like that.
I think a lot of people probably don't actually know what the prerequisites are for being a member of parliament. Is there a specific job? Is there a specific education that you need?
The common conception out there is that you've got to be a lawyer, or there's got to be some sort of degree you got to go down. And I mean, in the Labor Party, we've got many lawyers, former lawyers who are now politicians, but we also have people who've, been tradies, former teachers, former police officers. So I think really you just have to have the passion to be a representative for your community, to actually listen and to be their voice in Parliament. That will actually drive you and make you successful, not really a particular resume.
I mean, if anyone's wondering about the actual mechanical prerequisites, it's 18 and older, an Australian citizen, not bankrupt.
And you're A-okay.
Young people are the least represented on the electoral roll. For example, the 18 to 24 group, it's only 86.4% enrolled versus a 97% nationally. So there's way less young people enrolled to vote than older generations. So what would you say to help people understand the importance of being able to vote?
Voting is a cornerstone of our democracy, right? And being able to have your say, you shouldn't have to wait for an election to happen for you to have your say. It's about getting involved, grassroots level, understanding the importance of why you're voting, and making that a common discourse when it comes to young people. And I think really understanding the political parties that you want to put your weight and support behind is also very important. So it's about education, it's about getting involved. If you want to see that change happen, you got to get involved and become part of it.
So can young people make a difference?
100%. I have so much faith in young people, in their passion and in the ideas that they carry. And, I've got an open door policy. So if I can be of any help to any young person out there who want to understand what a day in a politician's life looks like, or what sort of difference we're making, I'm happy to have a chat. So, go chase those dreams.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, David.
I look forward to you not being the youngest member of Parliament.
That's it. That's the goal.
That could be taken two different ways. I look forward to more young people being in Parliament.
I hope we have a blooper section because this is gold.
Wonderful.
It's great, yeah.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this. Share, subscribe, all those sorts of things. Thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon. And if you are a young person considering learning more about politics, get involved. Reach out, find political parties that align with your values, and yeah, just find a way to learn more, get involved, have your voice heard, and I will see you next time.